Hello everyone, welcome to AJ Fashions and Apparel. Here is another video tutorial for back bodies of the previous pattern of front bodice corset we drafted. Here is the back pattern. We'll be looking at two different keyhole back for corset bodies. Here is the first one. On this video here, I have my back bodice pattern drafted here. We have a detailed tutorial on how to draft this back bodice pattern on the channel. You can as well watch it for more understanding. So here I'll take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, which is 4 inches. I'll mark that on the chest line and on the waistline, then connect it into a straight line. I will also take that of 0.5 inch on both sides of the that line. Then I'll connect it to the dart line. I'll connect the dart leg because I'll be detaching yoke from this chest line. So that is why I'm connecting straight to the chest line. If I will not be detaching this yoke from the chest line, I would have come down by 0.5 inch before connecting the dart legs to the dart line. So here, I want my yoke to detach from the chest line. So the zipper allowance I have on the upper part before the chest line, I will not be needing that again. So I'll connect that straight to the zipper part. Then for my keyhole yoke, I want to use button. I'll be using button for it. So here is where I will have the button loop and where I will fix the button also. Remember that this piece, we will have two pieces for the back. One will contain the button, the other one will have the button hole or the loop button. So here is the first construction of the back yoke. So look at the way I'm placing this curve ruler. You can as well use free hand to just sketch it. Just sketch whichever keyhole you want. We have different shapes of keyholes. So here I am just explaining two of it. We have different shapes of keyholes that you can use for your body, either front or the back. So here I still have 1.5 inch zipper allowance. I will not be needing up to that 1.5 inch. So I want to reduce this to 1. If you are using yoke, the stretchy fabric for your yoke, either net or whatsoever stretchy fabric or material, you can do 0.5 for this part so that the stretch, it will not stretch too much if you want to input the button, so that there will be no gaping at the back of the neck. So here I reduce this to 1 inch. So this place that I am crossing out, I don't need that part again. I don't need that part again. So here I want to tighten the chest line area. So I'll be coming out by 0.25 on both sides just to tighten it so that there will be no gaping because we don't have bust at the back. So I'll be doing this tightening. I will also connect it to the previous dart leg. So I am done with the tightening. Here is what I have. So after that, I'll go ahead to replace the dart. Here I have 0.5 inch on the chest line. So I'll replace that 0.5 inch dart, and I will also add my 2 inches sewing allowance. I'll go to the waist part. I'll measure my waist divided by 4, the circumference. Whatsoever I have, I'll replace the dart, which is 0.5 inch on both sides, which is 1 inch. Then I'll also add 2 inches sewing allowance to the waist part of the pattern. So after that, I'll connect the sewing allowances together. So here is what I have. I've connected that into a straight line. So we are as well done with the first yoke pattern. So here is what we have. Here is what we have. That is our new zipper allowance. The one on the upper part, we don't need it again. So This is what we have. So look at this one. It will just bring out something like love shape. If you want it wider than this, the choice is yours. If you want it smaller than this, you don't want the keyhole part to expose, the choice is also yours. You can also reduce it to be smaller than this one we have on this pattern. So I'll go ahead to cut out the part I don't need on the pattern. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. Here is what we have. Remember, we have two pieces for the back. So there will be two pieces for the back part of this pattern when we draft it in our fashion fabric. So I've cut out the excess zipper bulge. So on this keyhole back, we will be having eyelet. So that zipper allowance part, I've folded. You can see that when you fold it or is no longer there, this is how the pattern will look like. So I want to use the pencil to draw broken line and to sketch the second keyhole yoke. I want to sketch it out. So if I'm pleased with what I have, I will use the marker pen to highlight it. So here is what I have. If you want your eyelet part, the back part that will contain eyelet, if you want it to be more wider than this, the choice is yours. Just note that whatsoever intake of eyelet part you took here, it will reflect on the other side. You will have double. So here, after folding in the zipper allowance part, I'll be going in by 2 inches. So 2 inches. Remember that when we finish sewing, we will have 4 inches space at the back. Then the down part, you can also do 2 inches, but on this pattern, I'll be doing 1 inch on this pattern. So it will give us slanty eyelet part for the back. So here is what we have. I'll connect the 2 dots together, and here is what we have. If you want the back wider than this, you can just cut the eyelet part, and you will make your eyelet start from after the both dart legs. So that means your dart will start from that side back pattern. Your eyelet will start from the side back of the pattern, and you will have more wide opening at the back, which you will use modesty panel to cover because it will be too exposed. So here, I'll go ahead to label my pattern so that there will be no confusion while cutting and or while transferring to the fashion fabric. So I will label the part that will be up, down, the center back, and also the side back. So I'll be cutting out that eyelet part, that part that I crossed. I don't need that again. So I measure 2 inches on the top part, the chest line part, and 1 inch on the waist part. Just note that the place I mark 2 inches, we will be having 4 inches when we finish sewing. The part that I mark 1 inch, we will have 2 inches when we finish sewing. So you can as well use modesty panel to cover that part so that your back will not expose. So I'll go ahead to cut this keyhole part, the part that we don't need. I'll cut this out. So just look at the way I'm cutting it. And if you want, don't forget, if you want your keyhole to be wider or smaller than this, the choice is yours. So I want to close this dart. If you don't want to close your dart, you want to have separate dart, you can just cut away the dart intake. But here I'll be closing it so that the lower part of this back bodice, we will just have 2 pieces on both sides instead of having 4 pieces. So if you don't want to close your dart, you want to have same line there, you can just cut it there. Then you have to just remember to label your pattern so that there will be no confusion while transferring to the fashion fabric. So I apply glue on this part to close the dart. So I've gone ahead to close the dart, and after closing this dart, we are as good as done with the other keyhole back neck bodice. The yoke is there, and also the lower part of the bodice is also there. So don't forget, The yoke part, you will be cutting out 2 pieces. The down part of the bodice also, you will cut out 2 pieces for it. So here is what we have. I'll go ahead to align these lines together. So wherever the yoke gets to, I'll put a mark there, so that when I am transferring this on the fabric and sewing, I will know where it will stop. So I'll go ahead to notch those parts. I'll use scissors to just cut out tiny bits of that part. So when transferring to fashion fabric, I will also put a notch on the fabric on that part. So I'll go ahead to label where I'll be putting allowances. So you will have 0.5 on the eyelet part and also on the upper part of the chest line, so that when you are sewing back, there will be no shortage. Also on the yoke part, I will have 0.5 there. If you are using non-stretchy fabric, you will have 0.5 on that keyhole part also, so that you use to join it, or except you are using bias to tape it or to pipe it, you will just need 0.25. And if you want it more open, you might not need to add any allowance to that keyhole part, just pipe it, it will be more open. So here is what we have. And the highlights, you can add as many highlights as you want. The spacing you will put in between depends on what you want, either 1 inch spacing or 2 inches or 1.5. So that is where you have your eyelet rings. Thank you so much for watching this video. We have come to the end of this video. Please do well to like this video, share for others to learn, and subscribe. See you on the next.